Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're once again going to discuss several leaks that I managed to find and that I think are pretty interesting to talk about. As always, all of this information comes from sources that are considered fairly credible. Alright, now let's move on to the main topic. So, today's discussion about Himeko SP will focus on which characters are most likely going to become her teammates. Actually, we already discussed this topic before around 3 weeks ago. However, we're revisiting it again because the source of the information is different this time, and the details themselves are also quite different. If you're curious about that previous discussion, I highly recommend checking it out first. Alright, let's start with the first source, HSR Italia. They shared information originating from a user on Xiaohongshu, also known as Red Note. Since the identity of the leaker is still unclear, HSR Italia simply refers to this source as Uncle Red Note. But I want to emphasize first that HSR Italia themselves stated that they only shared this information for fun, and they also warned everyone that the leaks are still highly questionable. So at the moment, the credibility of Uncle Red Note is still very uncertain. According to the post, the possible teammates for Himeko SP are Robin, Sunday, and Welt. By the way, the leak doesn't specifically explain which Robin is being referred to here, whether it's the original Robin or Robin SP, who is expected to be a future character. However, if we compare this with information from Uncle B around 3 weeks ago, which stated that Sunday would eventually be replaced by Robin SP, there's actually a pretty good chance that the Robin mentioned by Uncle Red Note is indeed Robin SP. Overall, the team composition mentioned by Uncle Red Note is fairly similar to what Uncle B previously shared. If we take a closer look, this lineup actually has one major issue: the team doesn't have any sustain character at all. Ideally, every team should at least have one sustain unit to ensure survivability. While Welt can somewhat function as a pseudo-sustain thanks to his control utility, at the end of the day, Welt is fundamentally not a real sustain character. Unless Robin SP somehow ends up being a sustain unit herself, then maybe this team composition could make sense, although personally, I'm still pretty doubtful about that possibility. HSR Italia later shared a follow-up post providing additional clarification. In that post, it was mentioned that Uncle Red Note has apparently been hinting for quite a long time that Robin and Sunday would act as batteries for Himeko SP. And honestly, that makes sense considering Himeko SP is expected to be a character who heavily relies on her ultimate. They also mentioned that it has become fairly common for banners released close to, or after, a major character's release to function as either pre-sale or post-sale support characters. Because of that, it's very possible that Robin SP could end up becoming a post-sale support character specifically designed for Himeko SP. Now let's move on to the next source, Seele Leaks. The original source for this information comes from an anonymous uncle, but according to Seele Leaks, this leaker is considered fairly credible. Even so, as always, don't take everything at face value and make sure to take it with a grain of salt. In the post shared by Seele Leaks, the anonymous uncle revealed something pretty shocking. He stated that he intentionally shared mixed information with members of a private group, including fake details among real leaks, specifically to detect insiders who were leaking information from within his own circle. What's even more surprising is that this anonymous uncle firmly stated that Himeko SP and Robin SP will absolutely not be on the same team. According to him, Himeko SP's actual lineup of teammates is completely different from the rumors currently circulating around the community. He even claimed that anyone spreading rumors about Himeko SP and Robin SP being teammates are merely leakers stealing information from surrounding sources rather than genuine insiders with trustworthy access. Additionally, Seele Leaks also shared some extra details that are worth paying attention to. They posted a screenshot containing text from the anonymous uncle. Since the original text was entirely in Chinese, I translated it into English to make it easier to understand. From the screenshot, We can see that the information regarding Himeko SP and Robin SP being teammates actually dates back to September 30th, 2025, meaning the leak is already around 8 months old. Inside the same screenshot, there were also several other pieces of information. One of them mentioned that Yaoguang would become a support character, which later turned out to be true. The screenshot also stated that the direct damage carry lineup for the summer patch would feature Himeko SP and Robin SP. However, considering how old that information already is, there's a very high chance that it's no longer relevant and has become outdated compared to the game's current development. And now, let's move on to the final source, DK2 via HXG Leaks. In the post, DK2 stated that, as of now, Himeko SP needs Express crew members as her teammates. So based on the currently known preliminary kit information, it seems that Himeko SP may require Astral Express members within her team composition. However, HXG later followed up by clarifying that even if Himeko SP requires Astral Express members, that doesn't necessarily mean her entire team will consist only of them. So most likely, Himeko SP may only need 1 or 2 Astral Express characters in the team. And another important question is whether Himeko SP herself will count as an Astral Express member for her own team condition requirements or not. If that turns out to be the case, then honestly, Himeko SP would be somewhat similar to Cyrene, except Cyrene functions as a support, while Himeko SP is expected to be a main DPS. As we know, characters categorized as Astral Express members currently include Welt, Sunday, Trailblazer from Destruction all the way to Elation, March 7th Preservation and Hunt, Evernight, Dan Heng Il, Dan Hung PT, and Himeko. Honestly, I originally thought Evernight and Dan Hung PT wouldn't count as Astral Express members anymore since they're already part of the Chrysos heirs, but apparently they're still considered part of the Express as well. So, what do you guys think? Which characters do you think would fit best as teammates for Himeko SP? I'd really love to hear your speculations and analysis down in the comments section. Alright, that's all for now, everyone. So, what are your thoughts on today's discussion? Feel free to share your opinions, thoughts, and speculations in the comments below. Don't forget to share this information with your friends who also play Honkai Star Rail, and make sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss future updates. See you all in the next update.